Johnson Lee joined Toastmasters in September 2005. He has served as the club secretary, club vice president of membership, and as the area governor for Area B4 in term 2008 and 2009. Johnson attributes the growth of his communication and leadership skill to the many Toastmasters he has met, and who were sharing freely their wealth of experience and their bags of tricks. In 2009, Johnson represented Division B at the District of 51 Humorous Speech Contest at Genting Highlands. Today, Johnson will be continuing his journey by presenting a speech from the Advanced Communicator Manual, Specialty Speeches, project number 2, Uplifting the Spirit. May I welcome you, Johnson Dick, the distinguished Toastmaster Johnson Dick, with his speech titled Hope, Johnson Dick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
One question I wish to ask you all is, why are you all doing here? Tomorrow is a public holiday. We are only going to have about 26 more hours to the end of the year. And why are you here in a Toastmasters meeting? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today, let's take it a notch down. It's coming to the end of the year, and I'd like to share just something light into what I have experienced throughout the year of 2010. At the start of 2010, I had a shout out on my Facebook wall. It has to be great. That is the year to be. And I'm a person that likes to use a lot of acronyms. HAS, H-A-S, hope, ambition, and success. Throughout the year, I've been shouting out that statement. Hope, ambition, and success has to be great for to achieve my New Year's resolution, which some people don't seem to enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to share with you about hope. More specifically in regards to hope. Because at the end of the year, that's most of the time when we try to reflect back on what we have done throughout the year. And quite often or not, we look towards the things that we did not achieve, the things that we had hoped for, but we did not manage to get. And that, ladies and gentlemen, kind of brings us down to a low mood. Do you agree? Some nodding, some crying. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to a new acronym of hope. H-O-P-E. That is having our potential emerge. Having our potential emerge. Ladies and gentlemen, potential is defined as the inherent capability for coming to be. Oftentimes, ladies and gentlemen, we start off with a plan or a vision or a goal. We're full of ambition, we're full of hope. But as we trudge on through the year, or through the days, or through our daily lives, we often find ourselves in an environment that is not so cohesive. And when we allow aura of negativity surrounds us, it brings us to the dark side of what we hope to achieve. For example, ladies and gentlemen, say that you are having a horrible day. You are having a horrible day. You wake up in the morning, you open the windows, and thunderstorm is raining. You wanted to go out, and as you're driving in the rain, your car starts to die. And then by the time you reach to your office, 2 hours late, your boss shouts. Your colleague, beaming with a lot of excitement and joy, comes to you and asks, Johnson, isn't it a fantastic day? The first thing you think of is, off with his head. And then you start to berate your friend or your colleague and bring his mood down. And when another comes, 2 plus 1, another negative emotion comes into play. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you that in all of us, we have the potential to do something great or to do something downright bad. But what I'd like to encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, is that as we launch on to 2011, as we launch on to 2011, what are the things can we look forward to? What are the goals that you have set for in 2010, 2009, or 2008, or whenever? I like to encourage you to look at what you have within. In man's great glory, when God created all of us, He instilled in us that seed of greatness. And then when all of us, you imagine the great people around the world, as you read autobiographies, as you read newspaper cuttings, as you read things on the net, they achieve great things. But don't you have the same stuff? What we lack, ladies and gentlemen, is not the giftings, it's not the potential, but just the twinkling or the spark to get us going. So how can you be the spark or be sparked? And I'd like to share with you some of the things that I've done this week. One of the things that I've already mentioned is that your surroundings definitely affects your mood, whether it is for today, next week, or a year. So what I can encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, sort out positive thinking people. Sort out positive thinking people. And where can you find that? It could be in an NGO. It could be in Toastmasters. It could be in your workplace, where you can find very eccentric people. People who will always be bubbly and you think they just came out from the asylum. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are always frowning and down and you are always in a horrible mood, do you think it's you or the other person that should be committed? All of us have great potential. All of us have great giftings. But it's when we are surrounded with positive people that we can mold all of this together. And head towards a common goal. Personally, when I have a rotten day, I sort out Toastmasters clubs. Whether they like it or not, a Toastmaster has to be positive. I repeat, whether they like it or not, Toastmasters have to be positive. The challenge, as I sometimes share to fellow members, the challenge of being a good evaluator is when you see a speech that really sucks, but you have to give the speaker the best smile and say, it was a very interesting speech. I really enjoyed listening. And move on. But ladies and gentlemen, even for that short 3 minutes, of encouragement, it helps brings my mood away from where I was before. Another thing we can do, ladies and gentlemen, is that we can be a bit more giving. All of us do work for a living, as what some of our previous speakers have shared. All of us do have goals. But one thing that I like to encourage you is to look back to our roots, to where we start off. When we came out from our respective mothers' wombs, we were not forced to work. We were not thrown into a labor camp. Others was doing the work for us. And we were just receiving. Don't you think, ladies and gentlemen, that that seed of giving and generosity is something that has been planted within us, so that when we go on to a respective new year, or a respective new job, or respective new environment, we should give something in return. If you think back, one thing that is common among all of us is that at least for the first 16 years of our life, we have been on the receiving end, and we just receive. 16 years given good medical health, that I would say is about 1/4 of our life. We have 3 other quarters to go. Don't you think it would be a better world, or even a better environment, or a better setting, that we can share something else? every year we set resolutions and we do set goals, and that is for something to achieve. But ladies and gentlemen, I do encourage you that while you have your goals in sight, as what Jonathan had shared earlier, we must not lose sight as to the things that can help make our lives and the lives of people around us much better. We have the potential to do a lot of great things, but when it is put to good use, it is to a positive manner and not to negative. Oftentimes, one of the things that I try to do is not read the newspaper. Why do I do that? When you read the newspaper, what do you have in that, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of negative news, a lot of downers. One thing I am appreciative of is Facebook. Not so much of the games that we have inside them, but in Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I truly cherish is all the pictures that my friends, people like you, put forth and dare to share. If you look back, you'll see a lot of happy smiles, a lot of joy, especially those with kids, or even those with a lot of friends. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings a lot of joy and hope to me. So I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, as you look towards 2011, you may have your big plans and your big goals, but do not lose sight on what really matters. And I sincerely hope that you move your potentials to a greater heights. Thank you.
Toastmaster Johnson here. I'd like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Dick Andrews to come up with his evaluation.
Thank you, Rushbing. Good evening again, everybody. An uplifting speech is one that is to uplift the audience. Have you been uplifted by Johnson?
Yes.
Johnson, we all know, is a very, very good speaker, a very entertaining speaker, a very powerful speaker. I have to say, Johnson, I don't think you demonstrated that in your normal way tonight, because this was a special type of speech, one which isn't from the professional speaking manual about motivational speeches. It is, though, still about inspiring people. You took a theme which was based on the acronym HOPE, having our potential emerge. And you certainly demonstrated how you felt your year of 2010 had gone and how you had tried to overcome the negativity which surrounds you and surrounds all of us at various times. You then tried to put it into a context of looking forward, looking ahead to 2011, and how you specifically, but how we generally can go more for the positives than the negatives of life. And in a sense, he was challenging me as his evaluator to ensure that one particular example of positive thinking which comes out from a typical Toastmasters meeting is to have nice things said by one's evaluator. And I do say a lot of nice things about Johnson because the key ingredients of a good public speaker came through. He did have powerful gestures, he had good vocal variety, and he did have a strong message underlying everything. But a good evaluator is also supposed to be objective, and in my view there was some elements which you could have done differently, Johnson, and made it an even more uplifting speech. I think when you said that there were 3 examples of where you could get the company of, meet up with positive thinking people, maybe at work, maybe in your NGO, or maybe at Toastmasters, I think it would have engaged this audience better if you had focused on that one example of being uplifted by a Toastmasters group of people. Because we all know how uplifted we can be by Toastmasters. We are all Toastmasters. with the exception of one or two guests. So we could, I think, have identified more with that positive message which you were trying to put across to us if we had been able to relate more directly to the points you were putting across. So maybe that would have been one way of really uplifting it. And I think also, although I've said you do use strong gestures and strong vocal variety, I think you could have been even more animated. Now, I realise this is before this has been cut down, so I will share my other thoughts with Johnson afterwards. I'll now pass you back to General Evaluator.